Welcome back to 20 Side Adventures. You might notice this video has already been posted before. Something happened and the whole back half of it just disappeared. So someone pointed it out. I went to go find the files. They were corrupted. No idea what happened, so I have rebuilt that half of the video, refilmed it, cut it back in. If you have watched the armor tier list, you're going to want to skip to around 12:05, and if you're new to this video, hang in tight and we'll get started right now. Welcome to 20 Side Adventures. Today we're going to be wrapping up my tier list on different property runes. Bear with me, I have failed my fortitude save for allergies this season, and I'm going to try not to sniffle and drip on the microphone throughout this video, so thank you for your grace on that. Also, if you have not, please like and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to grow our base here to be able to provide more Pathfinder content. And also, it's been pointed out to me there's been a fair bit of non-Pathfinder players that have found these tier lists, and so I'm going to take this time to explain runes a little bit better. So for those who don't play Pathfinder, runes are how you enchant your weapons or armor or anything really in the game. They have specific properties that enhance your weapon or your armor, your equipment, and you have only so many slots that you can apply them in, so you kind of have to do this judiciously, though Pathfinder does have a cool option where you can swap runes in and out so long as you have access to a crafter or a town. So you can customize your equipment for the adventure you're about to be going on. So with that, no further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, fortitude save failed for allergies, but will save to make a video anyways. Here we go. First one is size changing. As a single action, once per day, you can cast the enlarge or shrink spell. Excuse me. Enlarge is going to give you some bonuses to attack, though you will get the clumsy debuff, and then small will let you be able to maybe squeeze through some places or get into some areas that you weren't able to before. B tier, good choice depending on what's going on. I think there's definitely some better, but not a bad choice at all. Slick, A tier. So most, like the vast majority of creatures in Pathfinder have the grab trait or a grab ability. So they either get to make a grab without a penalty, or they can make a free grab, or a variety of things if they've hit you. Slick lets you have a bonus to when you attempt to escape the grabbed condition. So solid take, just given how Pathfinder monsters are built. Assisting, D tier, just buy some bags of holding, they're cheaper. That's the only mechanical benefit this rune gives you, it lets you carry more. Now, the roleplay side of this rune lets you enhance your armor with the magic rune to accomplish anything that Pathfinder's accessibility items give you. So if you're playing a character that needs a wheelchair, or crutches, or splints, or anything that assists them because of anything that they have that is, I guess, a handicap or a disability, the assisting rune can facilitate the physical item with magic in your equipment. You can also put this in adventuring gear, so you can even world build how this might be a common medical solution for a variety of NPCs. Shadow, B tier, gives you a bonus to stealth. Never a bad thing. If you're a sneaky character, it's a decent choice. Staunching, this gives you a better flat check when you are attempting to stop persistent damage from the bleed effect. It's okay. If you're fighting a lot of creatures that bleed you, maybe it's good. I just don't think it happens frequently enough to where it's really worth the slot or the cost. Raiment. So this one's really neat. Once per day, you can just make your armor look like whatever clothing you want. So getting through that guard checkpoint, going to that party, doing all these things that adventurers tend to do, and it's like, ooh, do I really want to go to this with no armor? But also, do I want to be that guy that's fully armored at the banquet? This rune lets you solve that problem. Ready. So this one's really cool. It pulls your armor to you, so you can have like a little Iron Man moment. Usually it's a minute to get into light armor. I think like 10 minutes to get into heavy. It's a long time. This reduces it to 1 action or 1 round. So really makes getting into your armor a lot easier. If you're in and out of armor a lot, this could be a great choice. Swallow Spike. So, speaking about the grab from before, S tier, because this lets you have a reaction to attack someone who grabs or attempts to swallow you. Good reaction, has its own attack, decent damage, and every successive round that you're still grabbed, your armor can make an attack. Now that's very important. You spend an action and your armor makes the attack. That's the first attack your armor has made, so no armor attack penalty, or I'm sorry, no multiple attack penalty. Fantastic take. Also, this can, if you are swallowed by a creature that has the swallow ability, if it does enough damage to rupture and get you out, the swallow spikes can do that. C tier, aim aiding. Again, sorry for the clearing of the throat and whatnot. The allergies are just crushing me right now. So in Pathfinder, you are cover for your ally behind you that is shooting through your square to hit the guy in front of you. So this rune eliminates that. C tier, this shouldn't be happening much. If you have a ranged fighter or a ranged character in your party that's shooting frequently, you guys should be learning how to position each other to not be in each other's way, to provide cover to the bad guys. So maybe if that's just becoming real problematic, or if there's just so many melee and like one archer they can never get past that, maybe you start putting this on your team's armor, but I think there's much better choices and better ways of solving this problem than spending it on a rune. Dread, S tier. So when you have the Dread rune, any person, or I guess any bad guy around you that has the Fear debuff, which generally decays 1 tick per turn, when it gets to that last tick, and it can be to the second and so on as you level up the rune, they have to make a will save or they retain the frightened condition. Lots of things can cause frightened. Other people in your party cause the condition. The Dread rune still affects, so it's a really good synergy rune if you have someone in your party that's instilling fear on bad guys. Quenching, same as staunching, but for fire. Yeah, same opinion on it. Just I don't think it comes up enough to be a big enough problem to spend the rune slot on it. Deathless, S tier. As a reaction, you can just wipe out a wounded. So you get wounded 1, you're like, nah, I'm okay. Once a day, boom, wounded 1 gone. Keeps you in the fight longer. Energy resistant, A tier. Only A tier because you have to pick a type of energy. So this is a very standard, fire resistant armor, ice resistant armor, lightning resistant armor, whatever you want to get, slot it in, get the resistance for it. Gliding, D tier. It lets you glide. If you're on a flying mount or you have a lot of things that involve flight, this could be much more useful. I think as a general take, I've not really seen an instance where my party was like, man, I wish my armor could become a squirrel suit on demand. Invisibility, S tier, great choice. Single action, cast invisibility on yourself once per day. Higher level of invisibility cast. Wonderful take. Bitter, D tier. So this is specifically for the swallow, the creatures that can swallow whole. It makes your armor bitter, so they are sickened, and when they attempt to throw up to get rid of the sickened condition, you can attempt to escape. Kind of gross. I just don't think that happens very often. I think swallow spikes are a better take to deal with this, and it helps with grabbed. Unless you're going into a fight where you specifically know, like you're fighting giant toads that swallow people whole all the time, maybe you guys all slot in bitter just for that fight. I don't think it's a great general take. Advancing. So this is a free action, which I love anything that gives you more actions. So S tier, the free action is when you slay a foe, you activate the advancing rune, and you can move up to 15 feet, and this does not incur attacks of opportunity. So that is a fantastic way to control the battlefield if you are a frontline fighter that dishes out a lot of damage and you're likely going to be downing foes. Malleable, B tier. It's an okay take. So in Pathfinder, you get something called armor specialization if you are a class that's more martial inclined. This gives you benefits to the different types of armor you're wearing. Those benefits are resistant to a specific type of damage. The Malleable rune lets you change which type of damage you resist. So if your armor's good against bludgeoning, but someone's coming at you with a spear, you can activate the malleable rune. Suddenly you're good against piercing, no longer good against the bludgeoning. It's an okay take. Portable, C tier. On its own, terrible. Basically, your armor gets to become a bracelet or something that you wear that signifies the armor, and it pops out of the armor and then you can put it on. Well, as we discussed before, that's like minutes to get your armor on, even though it's portable. But now if you combine portable with ready, you just get that full Iron Man effect.
Where'd that come from?
One other thing to note with portable is while it is contained in the bracelet or whatever you've returned it to, it can still impart other properties it has. So like let's say you had an energy resistant rune in it as well, you would still get that resistance 5 to that elemental damage, even when the armor is not physically on you, but it's in that bracelet form. One other thing to note with portable is while it is contained in the bracelet or whatever you've returned it to, it can still impart other properties it has. So like let's say you had an energy resistant rune in it as well, you would still get that resistance 5 to that elemental damage, even when the armor is not physically on you, but it's in that bracelet form. Magnetizing. B tier, this makes your armor magnetic. So when other heavy armor fighters are near you, or creatures made of metal, or something your DM thinks should be magnetically attracted to you, everything around you becomes difficult terrain, so they can no longer take those 5-foot step to get away, and if they just move, they're having to deal with difficult terrain. Energy absorbing. Now this sounds super cool, but it's down here in C tier. Basically, it absorbs elemental damage, gives you resistance like energy resistance, and then blasts back some damage. The problem being, most things that deal elemental damage to you are also immune to that same type of elemental damage. So I just don't think the frequency in which you deal that damage back, or maybe not immune, but they're resistant. I just think you lose most of the damage potential that this is going to dish back out when you could just take energy resistance and be cheaper and better for it. All right, here we are refilming this segment, so we'll get right into it, this time without allergies. So we left off at Implacable. This one gives you the quicken condition whenever you are grabbed, which as mentioned before happens pretty frequently, and this gives you an action to escape that grabbed condition. Immovable. This one just lets you lock yourself in place. I don't find it very valuable. It also lets you be an inside joke on a Mythbusters episode, if that's your thing, little Easter egg hidden in there by the devs. But I don't find being able to not be moved all that important. Fortifications. This is S tier. This is one of the best runes you can take because it makes your armor do more armory things. Anytime you receive a critical hit, you get to make a flat check to make that critical hit a normal hit if you have the fortification rune. There are tiers to a lot of these, so the fortification does have higher tiers. As you tier it up, the flat check gets smaller and smaller. Winged. It's like drinking some Red Bull. It gives your armor wings, so you get a fly speed. Energy adaptive. So this one is, I would put it S tier if not for this one factor, but this is if you want an energy resistant rune but you have trouble with commitment, this will give you a reaction to change the type of energy that you are resisting when you are struck by that type of damage. The downside and why this one isn't rated higher is it doesn't have tiers, so you are locked in at an energy resist 5, where if you were to get the normal energy resist rune, you could go higher up as you got a more powerful rune. Spell breaking, this gives you a bonus to resistance and armor class against a specific school of magic. Kind of niche if you know what you're up against, like if you're fighting a necromancer, so you're going to face a lot of necromancy, could make sense, but I feel there's better options. Soaring, so this is kind of a niche rune also. You have to already have a fly speed, so if you have a winged, it could combine very well with that. It'll give you a bonus on that fly speed and the option to cast Featherfall, so if all of your allies fall off of the airship and they don't have flying abilities, you at least make it so they don't go splat when they hit the ground. Cavern's Heart, if you've ever had the desire to create a wall of stone that uses your hit points instead of its own, this is the rune for you. I absolutely don't get it. Wall of Stone, good spell, put up a barrier, they have to hack their way through it, except now as they hack their way through it, they're killing you. Absolutely don't get it. D tier. Anti-magic, and again, stuff going off screen here, but anti-magic is spell breaking but better. It gives you that same +1 bonus to all incoming magic, and then you also have a once a day reaction to counterspell an incoming effect. And last but not least, misleading. Misleading in of itself doesn't do that much. It increases the flat check to be found while you are undetected by 1, so 6 instead of 5. Not great, but it does let you cast the misleading spell, which is super cool. You go invisible, and a duplicate of an illusionary duplicate of yourself pops up into your place, and so you can go 2 different directions. And it is the sneakiest thing you can do as a rogue with a rune. So A tier for that if you are a sneaky light armored type. Okay, I think yes. That is now completing this video. Thank you guys for tuning back in. I have no idea what happened on the last time we built it, but here we go, finished tier list, and we'll wish you guys great fun on your 20-sided adventures, and we'll see you next time.